Now, you've just been watching Fox News' coverage of what's being investigated as an assassination attempt at a rally for former President Donald Trump. Our coverage continues. The Fox 61 News begins right now.
Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Bullets flew in Butler, Pennsylvania, as former President Donald Trump held a packed campaign rally. Those shots wounding him and killing at least one other person. And we're told the person who fired those shots at the GOP frontrunner is dead tonight. Good evening. I'm Alexa Farrell. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10:30. Information and video is still coming in on this dramatic night, but the most important thing to underscore tonight is that the former president, Donald Trump, survived. Photographs from the rally today in Butler, Pennsylvania show blood on the president's ear, former President Donald Trump's ear, and his face and hands. What we are told is that one attendee was killed in the gunfire. The Butler DA says there was one shooter, and that person is also dead. Once they had the president secure, the Secret Service hustled him into an SUV and departed the rally at top speed. The motorcade rushed the former president to the closest hospital, where tonight he sent a social media post to his followers. We'll have that for you shortly, but first we do want to play the entire 2 minutes from the moment that shots rang out.
You want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hold. When you're ready, on you. Ready. Move. Up. Move. Go. Up. Hawkeye's here. Hawkeye's here. Move it to the stair. Stair, get ready. Stair, get ready. We ready? Are we good? Shooter's down. Are we good to move? We're clear. We're clear. Let's move. We're clear.
Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we got to move to the cars. Let me get my shoes.
Okay, my shoes down.
Watch out.
Wait.
Now, in a statement he posted to his Truth Social account, Donald Trump said, "I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who's now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong, in that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized what was happening. God bless America." And as you just heard, President Biden spoke to the media following the shooting at President Trump's rally moments ago. We learned President Biden has spoken to the former president, Donald Trump. This according to a White House official. So let's hear the president's comments in full as he addressed the media earlier today from Delaware.
I've been thoroughly briefed by all the agencies in the federal government as to the situation, based on what we know now. I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to them shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have been engaged in making sure that the people and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. But so far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that there's thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do, okay?
And we have learned that President Biden did speak with former President Donald Trump. So he just moments ago did talk to him on the telephone. So that is the latest in that. And now we have Fox 61's Jake Garcia, who's joining us with reaction from Connecticut leaders and lawmakers following this horrific incident in Pennsylvania. What have leaders been saying, Jake?
Well, Alexa, they are saying it's extremely horrific, and Connecticut leaders are emphasizing just that, condemning the actions at today's rally. Officials on both sides of the aisle speaking out that thankfully the former president appears to be safe but upset about what transpired. Governor Lamont released this statement this evening commending the Secret Service and law enforcement for their actions, but going on to say, quote, political violence and gun violence of any kind have absolutely no place in our society and are never acceptable. We must all, as Americans, be able to express our views freely without the fear of violence. Now, the head of the Connecticut Republican Party, Ben Proto, releasing this statement calling the attempted assassination of former President Trump, quote, tragic and sad. Proto went on to say, quote, all Americans, regardless of political affiliation or political philosophy, must condemn this heinous act and recommit to engaging in political discussion that will move our country forward in a nonviolent manner. Now, similar statements have been released from Connecticut's congressional delegation, Senators Chris Murphy and Richard Blumenthal echoing the same statement from Governor Lamont, with Senator Murphy writing, quote, there is no room in America for political violence. Now, all of Connecticut's representatives have released similar statements condemning the actions at today's rally and sending their thoughts to former President Trump and his family. So, again, we just heard from former President Trump's campaign and Trump himself that he is fine. He's being treated, saying on Truth Social that he was shot in the upper part of his ear, but still a lot more to come on this investigation to what law enforcement officials are calling this attempted assassination. Alexa?
Jake, thank you. Thank you. Definitely a lot more to come in the following days and following weeks. Now, there are still many unanswered questions tonight. Earlier this evening, I spoke with a former FBI specialist who also is a professor of criminal justice at the University of New Haven. Ken Gray, take a listen. What is the protocol when shots are fired at someone on the campaign trail, a former president of the United States, and there is an attack on that individual?
So Secret Service is the lead federal agency for the protection of the president, the vice president, and any candidate here for the run-up to the election. And so when the shots rang out, you saw Secret Service agents jumping onto former President Trump. You also saw uniformed individuals leap up onto the stage with helmets and long guns. That was part of the counter-assault team, which is Secret Service. There are also outside your view counter snipers that were there at the venue that apparently neutralized the shooter. Once the president is, or former president is out of the area and is safe, then you have the investigation. The investigation shifts from the responsibility of the Secret Service over to the FBI as the lead federal agency, who are responsible for the assault on a federal agent or assault on a candidate like this. And so the FBI becomes the investigative body. But the FBI will not be working in a vacuum. They'll be working with Secret Service. They will be working with the state police, the local police. There will be a lot of different players that will be taking part in this investigation.
What do you think the Secret Service and other law enforcement, how do you think of how they reacted in this situation? Was it quick enough? Did they do what they needed to do? Could it have been done better?
Secret Service is in has a hard job. They have a proactive job of trying to protect against this type of threat, and then they have a reactive job. That is, once a person is trying to attack the president or shoot at the president, their job is to put their bodies in harm's way, to protect the protectee and get them out of the area. And you saw how quickly they jumped on the president and how quickly they formed a human barrier around him and moved him to that vehicle. And then the vehicle left the area to take him out of the possible danger and over to a medical facility. The president, former president, was struck in the ear. You saw bleeding from the ear, but he may have been shot elsewhere and did not even know it. And so one of the things they would do is, once they got him into the vehicle, is to see if there were other injuries to his body, whether he needed to have any type of other first aid afforded to him while going towards a safe zone, going towards the hospital. So this is the kill box here. If you shoot at a person and hit them within this area here, and it continues on over here, then the likelihood of killing the person is very great. That bullet struck here when the kill box is right here. So it was very close, but not close enough.
From reports, the shooter was on top of a roof outside of the venue. So every person that walked through there could have walked through, a metal detector and been searched and made sure that everyone within that venue was safe. But this is someone that was outside of that venue. So as the Secret Service, what do you do at that point?
Yeah. So as you say, the event itself, at the rally event, it was a secure event. They had taken actions to make sure that nobody that was coming into that event had any weapons on them. But that does not mean that people outside the events don't have weapons. So in this particular case, the shooter crawled across the top of the roof to try to get into position without being detected, got into a position and got off their shots. As soon as they got off their shots, the counter sniper team was able to locate and neutralize the shooter, but they did not do so before that person got their shots off. I think what we will see in the future is that this was a gap in their security and that they will need to push the perimeter out further to make sure that the event is more secure, or move the events all indoors.
Do you think that the former president might stay off of the campaign trail because of this happening, or do you think this is just going to kind of ignite his fire to keep moving forward with his message?
Oh, I'm sure that President Trump will continue on. You saw him raise his fist defiantly right there from the podium, and again once he was getting into the SUV, that he was raising his fist, not only showing that he was okay, but that he was defiant against this type of attack. So I can't imagine him not being out on the campaign trail.
So security will just be increased as it moves forward?
Yes.
Let's go to New York now, tracking the latest developments in this apparent attempt to assassinate former President Trump. Connor Hansen has the latest.
Former President Trump says he is okay after being hit by a bullet just minutes into giving a speech at a Pennsylvania rally. The shooter has been killed, and one person attending the rally was killed. 2 others were injured in the shooting. Trump could be seen reaching for his face and neck, then quickly ducking behind the podium as his Secret Service detail rushed the stage. Several loud bangs continued, the former president appearing to be injured, but still pumping his fist to supporters before he was whisked off the stage. A close-up shot shows blood coming from the former president's ear. A spokesperson for the Trump campaign also weighing in, saying, quote, President Trump thanks law enforcement and first responders for their quick action during this heinous act. He is fine and is being checked out at a local medical facility. Witnesses who were at the rally described the frightening moments when they realized what was happening.
Somebody started yelling, hit the ground, hit the ground. And when I looked over, then I saw the smoke from the gunfire.
Just heard pop, pop, pop. Right away you think, well, maybe firecrackers, and you're kind of stunned. And then fire, and then like return fire, and then get down. So we got down, and we huddled, and we just started praying.
President Biden addressing the nation after the shooting, denouncing the violence, and wishing Trump a speedy recovery.
The idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody.
The Secret Service is now investigating this as an assassination attempt. Sources tell Fox the shooter was on the roof of a nearby building and was shot and killed by a Secret Service sniper. We're told an AR-style rifle was found at the scene. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
A lot of information and much of it changing by the minute. Now we're working to keep you updated as much as possible with the very latest breaking details. Here's what we know right now. Former President Donald Trump is being treated after he was wounded in the shooting at his political rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, which is about 50 minutes north of Pittsburgh. And tonight, law enforcement officials are investigating this as an attempted assassination. Trump's campaign and Trump himself have released statements saying he's okay and recovering tonight. The suspected gunman in this shooting is dead, and one person attending the rally has also died. It's unclear how that person died at this point. 2 other attendees were seriously injured, according to the Secret Service. Now, you'll find more coverage of this deadly shooting at the Trump rally on our free Fox 61 app. Use that QR code right there on your screen to download it, or go to fox61.com 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Well, let's switch gears now and get a quick check of the weather. Meteorologist Ryan Brenton is here with us. Ryan, hot, humid, that's the weather that we've seen across the state and we continue to see here.
Absolutely, Alexa. We're keeping this trend going, and it's actually going to get even hotter as we begin the new week. Still warm out there tonight. It's 78 right now in Hartford and New Haven, 73 in Norwich and Waterbury. It is humid everywhere, but I do have some good news heading into the day tomorrow. There will be a dip in the humidity midday into the afternoon before it starts coming back up. So while we have a hot day coming up tomorrow, I don't think it will be oppressively humid. And there is no heat advisory tomorrow, even though temperatures will be climbing into the 90s in many spots. A sunny, bright day, morning temperatures quickly rising into the 80s, then we get into the low 90s tomorrow afternoon. And then it's not until Monday that the high humidity makes a comeback. A heat advisory begins on Monday, and when we combine the heat and humidity, it will feel like it's near 100 degrees again on Monday. There is also an excessive heat watch for parts of northern Connecticut on Tuesday when it may feel like 105. I'll be back in just a few minutes with much more on the heat and when it may finally break. That's in the 7-day forecast. Back to you.
All right, Brian, thank you. Now we continue to follow the breaking news from Pennsylvania involving former President Donald Trump. Stay with us. The Fox 61 News continues after this.
Weather is sponsored by Window Nation for all of your window and door needs.
You spend your youth envisioning what's possible. If you believe enough, you grow up and become it. Greatness doesn't happen overnight. Watch Carson's vision become reality with the time-tested power of Xfinity Internet. With enough speed to connect hundreds of devices, you can stream Team USA in every room on every screen. Get Xfinity Internet for just $30 a month for 12 months with no annual contract and unlimited data included. Get the fastest connection to Paris with Xfinity.
This fall, the floor gets bigger with more players, more money, and more Rob Lowe.
Let's light it up!
The Floor, all new this fall on Fox and stream the first season on Hulu.
Meet
The waver, making it clear he intends to cross. The watcher, watching for the wave. The looker, looking out for you and opening car doors. Squad goals, making it safe for all of pedestrian kind.
He means business.
Yeah, that would do it.
Buckle up, big boy.
Only 3 out of 10 Americans got this question right.
What happened?
I got the wrong answer. Do not feel ashamed. You're as stupid as I am.
Big questions, big prizes, and big balls. Your hair got wet.
This is MasterChef Generations.
The millennials have arrived!
Since I've always thrived in competition, this time I got some of my own.
The more worried you are, the happier I am. Game on.
We need you to remember the lyrics of the song.
I can name that tune in one note.
Let's give away one. It's a competition.
I am Vanderpumped up.
That's what I want to hear.
Welcome back. We are continuing our coverage of the breaking story. Former President Donald Trump wounded during a shooting at a campaign rally today in Pennsylvania. The dramatic moment was captured on video as Mr. Trump, his Secret Service agents, and members of the crowd ducked for cover. Multiple shots were fired. We have confirmed at least 1 attendee was killed, 2 critically wounded. And the Butler, Pennsylvania says that the gunman responsible for this apparent attempt to assassinate the former president and GOP frontrunner is dead tonight.
Now, the Fox 61 Weather Watch with meteorologist Ryan Bratton.
And hi, everybody. It's been hot around here lately, but it is going to be hot again to start the new week. Temperatures tomorrow in the lower 90s. Then we get into the mid 90s Monday and Tuesday. It's a heat wave that probably goes on 4 days, but then will break by the end of the week, Thursday and Friday. It not looks only less hot, but also finally less humid. Even on the shoreline, I think we have a shot at a heat wave, especially from, say, Clinton points west. The next few days, all getting into the 90s. Still in the 70s out there tonight, and it is quite humid. We had a couple of showers pop up in northwestern Pennsylvania, or northwestern Connecticut, I should say, but those have now fizzled out. And on the broader picture, you can see we are into the heat and humidity, but there is one little area of less humid air which comes down tomorrow. So I don't think it is as oppressively hot or as oppressively humid coming up tomorrow. And you can see that here. The dew point will actually drop a little bit tomorrow into the lower half of the 60s, but then it's back to this tropical level from Monday through at least Wednesday and possibly Thursday, and combined with the heat, it will feel like it's near or even over 100 at times. Partly cloudy tonight. It's warm with low temperatures in the 60s, not as warm as other nights recently, but certainly plenty mild. Sunny and hot tomorrow and a bit less humid. Sunshine basically from start to finish. So if you're going to the beach, it's a really good beach day, but do note the UV index is at a 9, so running very high. Low tide actually happens during the middle of the day, so plenty of beach space coming up tomorrow. This is 7 a.m. Lots of sunshine out there. We will warm quickly through the 70s and into the 80s. And tomorrow afternoon, much of the state hitting the 90-degree mark, including New Haven hitting 90 tomorrow. No weather issues through the day. I think we'll have a lot of sunshine. And again, the humidity drops a little bit during the day tomorrow, but it starts coming back tomorrow night. So it's a warmer night tomorrow night. Lows will be in the lower to mid 70s across the state. And Monday really starts to feel very uncomfortable. It's not only going to be hot with temperatures in the mid-90s inland, right around 90 around New Haven, and mid-80s on the southeast shoreline, but it will be very humid on Monday. So when you factor in the heat with the humidity, it will feel like it's near 100 on Monday, near 105 in spots on Tuesday, and near 103 on Wednesday. There's a heat advisory up for Monday, but then an excessive heat watch in effect on Tuesday as this heat and humidity really builds in. It doesn't look like it will break until at least after Wednesday. This cold front will be coming down from the north, and how quickly it passes through will determine when we get into this less humid air, but it does look like by the end of the week we'll finally break what has been a really, really humid pattern around here. So tomorrow, sunny and hot, high temperatures in the low 90s, a weather watch alert for the combination of heat and humidity Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Feels like temperatures will be near 100 and likely over 100, especially inland on Tuesday. Here are your shoreline temperatures. Even there, it's hot and very humid, but you you can see by the end of the week, it's not quite as hot and the humidity should come down as well. We'll see you with much more coming up at 11. Back to you.
All right, Ryan, thank you. We continue to follow the breaking news involving former President Donald Trump. Much more of our coverage of today's deadly shooting at a rally for President Donald Trump. He was wounded but survived. The would-be assassin did not. Stay with Connecticut's news station.
This June, drop what you're doing for the Summer of Stars. Because we're serving up Copa America and the Euros. Summer of Stars, all tournament long.
When is a sofa more than a sofa? When my designers get their hands on it. We're talking a drop-down table and accent shelving in my Playday. Pop-up sleepers and hidden storage in my Playscape. Thoughtful finishes like nail-head detailing on my Playlist. And my playground with Bobopedic memory foam seats in customizable configurations. I'm not as flexible as my sectionals. When you can get 4 stylish sectionals designed for everyday living at my everyday low prices, there's only one thing to say. Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture. Don't let junk get in the way of your summer plans. Have a junk-free July with 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Thank you so much. Each week, top leaders and advocates join us to talk about issues important to everyone in Connecticut. Watch us Sunday mornings at 10 or anytime on Fox 61 Plus. Go to the Shows tab on the top of your screen and you'll see all our episodes. The Real Story on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Your time is 5:30 a.m. This is Brian and Company, the best way to start your day on WTIC News Talk 1080. We've got everything you need to start your day. Morgan's got the latest news. Matt's on the ball with sports. Bob has all your local weather. And, of course, Mark keeps you moving with traffic. That's the Company, and I'm Brian. And every day I'll have in-depth interviews with all of Connecticut's top newsmakers, something you will not get anywhere else.
Brian and Company, weekday mornings on WTIC News Talk 1080 and always free on the Odyssey app.
Welcome to the floor.
Check out Fox's #1 new game show anytime on Hulu.
Come at me.
And this fall, the floor gets bigger with more players, more money, and more Rob Lowe.
Let's light it up.
The Floor, all new this fall on Fox, and stream the first season on Hulu.
Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, on air, online, and on demand.
The latest news, weather, and traffic from your hometown all morning long.
Welcome back. We continue to monitor any new developments from Pennsylvania after the shooting at a rally that injured former President Donald Trump. Trump is doing all right tonight and is being treated for his injuries after he was shot in the upper ear while at the podium speaking during his rally. You can see it right here. The suspected gunman is dead, according to the Secret Service. One attendee is also dead. 2 more were seriously injured at this rally. Law enforcement officials are treating this as an attempted assassination. Stay with us. We have much more coverage from Pennsylvania on Connecticut's news station. The news at 11 is next.